जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजन यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजन यमुना तीरवनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे जय राधा श्याम सुंदर राधा श्याम सुंदर श्री राधे जय कृष्ण बलराम जय वृंदावन धाम जय गौरनिताय Gauranitai, Jayo Gauranitai. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Prabhupada. श्री श्री हरिनाम संकीर्तन की। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। Hare Krishna. I sincerely welcome all the devotees for today's evening Bhagavad Gita class. We are reading from Bhagavad Gita chapter 3, Karma Yoga. And today verses Shloka number 38. So, let's try to recite this. Shloka number 38. Dhūmenāvriyate vahnir. Dhūmenāvriyate vahnir. Yathādarśo malena cha. Yathādarśo malena cha. Yatholbenāvṛto garbhas. Yatholbenāvṛto garbhas. Tathā tenedam āvṛtam. Dhūmenāvriyate vahnir. Yathādarśo malena cha. Yatholbenāvṛto garbhas. Tathā tenedam āvṛtam. Dhūmenāvriyate vahnir. Yathādarśo malena cha. Yatholbenāvṛto garbhas. Tathā tenedam āvṛtam. Dhūmenāvriyate vahnir. Yathādarśo malena cha. Yatholbenāvṛto garbhas. Tathā tenedam āvṛtam. Dhūmenāvriyate vahnir. Yathādarśo malena cha. Yatholbenāvṛto garbhas. Tathā tenedam āvṛtam. Dhūmenāvriyate vahnir. Yathādarśo malena cha. Yatholbenāvṛto garbhas. Tathā tenedam āvṛtam. Dhūmenāvriyate vahnir. Yathādarśo malena cha. Yatholbenāvṛto garbhas. Tathā tenedam āvṛtam. Mataji? Okay. Synonyms. Dhūmena, by smoke. Āvṛyate, is covered. Vahnir, fire. Yathā, just as. ādarśaḥ, mirror. Malena, by dust. Cha, also. Yathā, just as. Ulbena, by the womb. āvṛtaḥ, is covered. Garbhas, embryo. Tathā, so. Tena, by that lust. Idam, this. āvṛtam, is covered. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki. As fire is covered by smoke, as a mirror is covered by dust, or as the embryo is covered by the womb, the living entity is similarly covered by different degrees of this lust. Purport Srila Prabhupada के द्वारे there are 3 degrees of covering of the living entity by which his pure consciousness is obscured. This covering is but lust under different manifestations like smoke in the fire, dust on the mirror, and the womb about the embryo. When lust is compared to smoke, it is understood that the fire of the living spark can be little perceived. In other words, when the living entity exhibits his Kṛṣṇa consciousness slightly, he may be likened to the fire covered by smoke. Although fire is necessary where there is smoke, there is no overt manifestation of fire in the early stage. This stage is like the beginning of Kṛṣṇa consciousness. The dust on the mirror refers to a cleansing process of the mirror of the mind by so many spiritual methods. The best process is to chant the holy name of the Lord. The embryo covered by the womb is an analogy illustrating a helpless position. For the child in the womb is so helpless that he cannot even move. This stage of living condition can be compared to that of the trees. The trees are also living entities, but they have been put in such a condition of life by such a great exhibition of lust that they are almost void of all consciousness. The covered mirror is compared to the birds and beasts, and the smoke-covered fire is compared to the human being. In the form of human being, the living entity may revive a little Kṛṣṇa consciousness, and if he makes further development, the fire of spiritual life can be kindled in the human form of life. By careful handling of the smoke in the fire, fire can be made to blaze. Therefore, the human form of life is a chance for the living entity to escape the entanglement of the material existence. In the human form of life, one can conquer the enemy, lust, by cultivation of Kṛṣṇa consciousness under able guidance. Om ajñānatimirandasya jnānāñjana-śalākaya chakshurum unmilitam yena tasmai Sri Guruve Namaha. Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yuta Padakamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavamsha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatamitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Kṛṣṇa Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Vishakhan Vitamcha Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Nitinamini Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarini Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktaranda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Krishna. So this is a very beautiful chapter in Bhagavad Gita, chapter 3, that is Karma Yoga. Just as a summary, This chapter contains about 43 shlokas, and this whole chapter can be divided into 4 sections. First section, Lord Kṛṣṇa is explaining to Arjuna how to renounce karma tyaga or bhakti yukta karma. So Arjuna is asking a question, and Kṛṣṇa is answering whether giving up the karma is better or doing karma with bhakti is better. So Kṛṣṇa further explains bhakti is better in all these verses. So that is from shloka kramank 1 to 9. Now in the second part of this third chapter, Kṛṣṇa explains karma kanda se karma yoga tak. How to move from karma kanda to karma yoga. So in the initial stages of life, when people are not engaged in bhakti, but they have a lot of desires. So by performing yajna, they can fulfill their desires. But ultimately the yajna is to please Kṛṣṇa. Yajnesha yajna purusha. Yajna purusha is Kṛṣṇa. So purpose of all yajna is to please Kṛṣṇa. But Kṛṣṇa has provided all the karma kanda process in Vedas, so that people in this life can perform the yajnas, satisfy some demigods, ask from them something and be happy. This is a process Lord has given this Vedas explain. So that is karma kanda. Now in the third section, karma yoga, setting an example through anasakta karma. Kṛṣṇa explains the great kings like Janaka Maharaj, how the great kings, although they were engaged in the karma, but they were anasakta, completely renounced the fruits of their activity. And Kṛṣṇa has given the example of Janaka Maharaj and all. So that was in the third part. Now today is the fourth part, Shlok Kramank 38. It comes in this last section of this Kam aur Krodh se Savdhan. Beware of lust and anger. And this is the most important section of this chapter. Whenever Bhagavad Gita is spoken in corporate world, so stress management, making a good decision, they all are dependent on this part of the Bhagavad Gita Karma Yoga. So Shlok Kramank 38, before actually going to that section 38, how this section starts. This section starts actually with Arjuna's question. So in Shlok Kramank 35, Kṛṣṇa explains, Shreyan swadharmo vigunaha paradharmat swa anustitat swadharme nidanam shreya paradharmo bhayavaha. Kṛṣṇa is saying it is better to discharge one's prescribed duties even though faultily than another's duty perfectly. If he is a Vaishya and his duties are like a Vaishya, he should perform his duties although imperfectly, instead of going to become a Brahmana or others' duty trying to do perfectly. So Kṛṣṇa says wherever you are situated, do your duty even if it is incomplete or faulty, it is okay. Instead of thinking somebody is the higher duties where you are thinking of doing that perfectly. But Kṛṣṇa is saying do your duty even if it is imperfect, it is fine. Because paro dharma bhayavaya. Others' duty is, it's a fear whether you will get a success or not. Distraction in the course of performing one's own duty is better than engaging in another's duties. For to follow another's path is dangerous. Because Arjuna thought that Kṛṣṇa is there present as Paramatma in Arjuna's heart. So Kṛṣṇa knows what is happening in Arjuna's mind. Arjuna was thinking that you said that Buddhi Yoga is better than Karma Yoga. That means it is better to give up everything and go to the forest and do chanting. So that there is no distraction, no need of killing anybody. This is what Arjuna was thinking. But Kṛṣṇa is stressing that you are a Kshatriya, do your duty, although it is imperfect. It is better to perform your duty. And then Arjuna asks a question. Arjuna is confused now. Then he said, Arjuna uvacha, atha kena pratakyoyam, atha kena prayuktoyam, papam charati purushaha, anichannapi varshnaya, balad iva niyojita. Arjuna said, O descendant of Vrishni, by what is one impelled to sinful acts, even unwillingly, as if engaged by force? What is that force which engages everyone to commit sinful activities? Even one is not willing. It all happened in our life. In our previous life, we have seen some activities or something which we have performed which are sinful. Although inside we were feeling, no, I should not have done this. I should not have done like this. But by force, we are made to commit such sinful activities. So Arjuna is also asking, what is that force which drives us and makes us to commit such sinful activities, although unwillingly? And to answer to this question, in Shlok Cramang 37, Kṛṣṇa explains, Sri Bhagavan Vacha, Kamesha Krodesha Rajo Guna Samudbhavaha Mahashano Mahapapma Vidhi Enam Yo Vairinam. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, it is lust. Lust matlab kama. It is the lust only, Arjuna, which is born out of contact with material mode of passion. So this lust, kama, is coming from material contact, rajoguna. The quality of rajoguna is excessive desire and excessive kama. That's why rajoguni is not peaceful. He wants to achieve all big things. He wants to build a big high skyscraper buildings, and there is a deep attachment for man and woman, in this rajoguna. So because of this rajoguna, both kama and krodha, they are initiating from this rajoguna. So Supreme Personality of Godhead said, it is lust only, Arjuna, which is born of contact with the material mode of passion and later transformed into wrath. When kama is not fulfilled, it converts into anger. Kamesha, Krodesha, Rajaguna, Samudbhava. So anger is the representation of unfulfilled lust, transformed into wrath, and which is all devouring sinful enemy of the world. This kama is the sinful enemy of the world. If the kama desire is not fulfilled, then it is transformed into krodha. So that's why beware of this kama. And now today's verse number 38, dhūmenāvriyate vahnir yathādarśo malena yathā ulbena garbhas tathā tenedam āvṛtam. As fire is covered by smoke, as mirror is covered by dust, or the embryo is covered by the womb, the living entity is similarly covered by different degrees of lust. This kama is covered in all different living entities by different degrees. So Srila Prabhupada explains here, there are three levels, where the kama is covered. These three levels are dhūmenāvriyate vahnir. When you see there is a spark, and that spark emanates smoke. If there is a lot of smoke, that smoke has come because there is a presence of spark. But the spark may be invisible. So similarly, This smoke is like a kama. And this smoke kama covers that intelligence or buddhi. The spark is buddhi, intelligence. And the smoke is kama. When the kama, the smoke covers that buddhi, then everything is aspashta. But this is the first level. In human beings, this kama is covered just like a smoke covers the fire. Prabhupada says, Srila Prabhupada says, by putting a fan, if you put a fan or if you start blowing air on that smoke, that spark can be kindled. The spark slowly expands and it blazes into fire. So when you put a fan onto this smoke, the smoke gets eliminated and that spark will get a fire. It opens up into a fire. जनरली घर में चूल्हा लगाते हैं ना, माँ जी ने चूल्हा लगाते हैं, जब उसको फूंकते हैं, when they blow it, the spark gets, so smoke slowly gets eliminated and the spark gets into fire. So similarly, the fan, putting a fan is like Shravanam Kirtanam. By the process of Shravanam and Kirtana, the Kṛṣṇa consciousness, which is a small spark, can be kindled into fire. So that's why Prabhupada says, association of the devotees, where if you hear the Kṛṣṇa Katha, Shravanam and Kirtanam, by that process, the spark of Kṛṣṇa consciousness can be aroused in the human being. And this is why Srila Prabhupada says, you preach. Preaching is the best process. And just by this preaching, you can kindle this spark and you can make a lot of people devotees. Prabhupada says the purpose of building a temple is just to give the association, just to kindle this spark. Purpose of building the temple is only to give the association. And Shravanam and Kirtana, we are putting the fan. The process of putting a fan is Shravanam and Kirtana. People should come to the temple. Their consciousness is covered by smoke. The general people who come in to temple, they are covered with the smoke, this lust. But when they come here, when you start speaking about Kṛṣṇa, when you start making them to chant, and slowly that spark is kindled into fire and they will become devotees. In Srimad Bhagavatam, the association of the devotees is sung in many places. There is only one shloka which is sung 2-3 times in Srimad Bhagavatam, same shloka, that is about the association of the devotees. It says, Tulayam lave napi na swargam na punarbhavam bhagavat sangi sangasha martyanam kimuta shishaha. It's a very beautiful verse. Tulayam lave napi. The benefit of associating with the devotees is so great that if you take a weighing scale and put in one part of that weighing scale the association of the devotees for a lavamatra, even for a lavamatra time, if you are associating with devotees, that benefit if you put on one side of the weighing scale, and on another side, if you put the benefit of going to Swarga, if you put on the other part, the lavamatra association becomes heavy. And the benefit of Swarga goes light. Similarly, now if you put the benefit of going to Swarga and also benefit of getting a moksha, both you put on this side, and lavamatra sadhu sangha you put on this side, the lavamatra sadhu sangha becomes even heavier and this goes up. So this is the glory of associating with the devotees. if one gets an association of devotees, by the process of hearing and chanting in the association of the devotees, the spark of Kṛṣṇa consciousness can be kindled into fire. So this is sung in Srimad Bhagavatam many times. So what to speak of any benefits in this material world? If we associate it with any devotees for a fraction of a second, lava matra. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu explains what is the definition of lava. One lava means, suppose if you close your eyes and open, it is called as one nimisha. And if you divide this one nimisha into 11 parts, 1 divided by 1 second is 0.09 second. So that is called as one lava. So if you associate with the devotees for one lava, fraction of a second, that benefit is much bigger than the benefit of getting a swarga, benefit of getting a moksha. Then what to speak of this material benefit? Sometimes it appears exaggeration, but still it is the same shloka is recited 2-3 times in Srimad Bhagavatam. And that is the power of association with devotees. So here in level 1, in human beings, that spark can be kindled by the process of hearing and chanting the Lord's name, and they can become devotee. The kama can be driven away. The lust can be driven away. Second level is yathādarśo malena. Sometimes when we are driving a car, the rear view mirror gets dust. It becomes dusty. When it becomes dusty, we are not able to see what is coming behind. Clearly we cannot see what is coming behind it. Similarly, our mind, when it is covered, or a heart is covered by this dust, material dust, we cannot see the Lord. We cannot have that Kṛṣṇa consciousness. So that's why in Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Cheto darpanam marjanam bhava maha davagni nirvapanam. Just by the process of chanting, our heart can be cleansed. So this is the second level. When the heart is covered with the dust, for millions of years we have taken birth, and this kama in the form of dust is covering our heart. And that's why we are not becoming, it's not clear for us to see Kṛṣṇa. And by the process of chanting Hare Kṛṣṇa, Hare Kṛṣṇa, Kṛṣṇa Kṛṣṇa, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram Hare, this dust can be cleared. And then we will be able to see clearly what is coming behind. So this is the level 2. In Srimad Bhagavatam, Param Pujya Vrindavan Chandra Maharaj was once giving a beautiful class. He said this kama is like a bhavandar, hurricane. Bhavandar, aap jante hai na? So when there is a bhavandar, the hurricane comes, whirling of the wind. So it's a very, very strong. What everyone does is, we all close our eyes so that dust should not enter into the eyes. Whenever there is a bhavandar or a hurricane, we close our eyes. And we should catch hold of something which is strong so that we are not blown away by that force of the wind. Similarly, in everybody's life, the kama comes like a bhavandar. जवानी में जब ये जो काम होता है, ये भवंडर जैसा आता है, और पुरुष स्त्री के संग में होता है या स्त्री पुरुष के संग में होता है, तब उसका आंख बंद हो जाते हैं. इसलिए वो उनको कुछ दिखता नहीं. जवानी के उस भवंडर में क्लियरली कुछ दिखता नहीं, आंख बंद होते हैं. इसलिए बहुत मद होता है व्यक्ति के पास, गर्व होता है. लेकिन जैसे वो भवंडर निकल जाएगा, आंख खुल जाएगा, तब कुछ क्लियरली दिखने लगता है. तो उसी प्रकार ये जो लस्ट है, दिस लस्ट कवर्स द कॉन्शियसनेस in three levels. One is the smoke, second is the dust on the mirror, and third is dust on mirror. Prabhupada ji compares just like in birds and beasts. This lust covers, like in birds and beasts, their consciousness is very covered. But although even in the birds and beast form of life, if one is fortunate and if the beast or birds are able to remember their past life, by Kṛṣṇa's mercy, even that Kṛṣṇa conscious can be revived. In Srimad Bhagavatam, Gajendra Moksha, you all have heard of Gajendra Moksha. Gajendra was a beast, he's in animal form. But he went to one day with all his family members and children to take bath in a big lake. There, the Gajendra's leg was caught by one magarmach, crocodile. So strongly, it was pulling inside. Gajendra tried to escape. Gajendra was, he was enjoying with all his family members. Just, everybody goes like a picnic. He has gone there for picnic. And he's taking water in the trunks, and then he's throwing on many of the wives. Gajendra was having many wives. So he's, throwing the water on their water sport, playing with them. But when magarmach, crocodile, catches the leg of Gajendra, all other wives just run away. And the children also, they come out. But Gajendra was caught inside. So because of this material lust, Gajendra has totally forgotten Kṛṣṇa. And crocodile in the form of Maya has come to catch the leg of Gajendra. But fortunately, Gajendra could remember his previous life because he has performed bhakti in his previous life. Because of the Agastya Muni's sharp curse of Agastya Muni, he has become the elephant in this life. So he could remember that, and when he saw that there was a small lotus flower, and Gajendra for thousands of years he was fighting with that crocodile, but he could not escape from that. And all his body has become very lean. All that energy has gone. His eyes started dwindling, he could not see clearly. His ears are not responding properly. Then when he saw that Kamala, immediately he lifted that Kamala with his trunk and then called up Kṛṣṇa, "Hey Dwarkadesha, please come and save me." So immediately when he took the name of Lord came and personally he killed that crocodile and relieved Gajendra from the, this clutches of Maya. So even he was in the beast form, his consciousness was covered by this dust of material, contamination. And this is the level 2. Level 3 is yathā ulbena garbhas. This is the deep coverage. When Jivatma is put into the mother's womb is like a plastic bag. And then the Jivatma is given a one body put in the mother's womb. So that body has to pass stool, pass urine in the same plastic bag for 9 months. It's so precarious condition inside. He cannot move his hands freely. And he cannot eat what he desires. It is explained in Srimad Bhagavatam 3rd canto. Kapil Bhagavan is explaining to Devahuti Mata the precarious condition of the Jivatma. At the 7th month, there is a conscious coming, and so many bacteria are also growing along with that body. They are all biting on the very soft skin. The baby cannot scratch. He only weeps inside. And in the month of 7th month, we all have prayed, "Oh my Lord, please take me out from this hellish condition. When I come out, I will surrender to you. We all have prayed. So there is a prayer in Srimad Bhagavatam that how the embryo, how the Jivatma prays to the Lord. And there is a very beautiful bhajan by Sri Bhaktivinoda Thakurji. Bhaktivinoda Thakurji has written a very beautiful bhajan. Bhuliya tumhare samsare asiya peye nana vida vyatha. Bhuliya tumhare, hey Bhagavan. The embryo is praying. Bhuliya tumhare samsare achiya. Because of forgetfulness of you, my Lord, I am put into this condition. And now I am, when I was in my mother's womb, I prayed to you, Lord, please relieve me from this precarious condition. When I come out, I will surrender to you. But when I came out from my mother's womb, there are so many lovable parents. They started laughing, they started smiling on me. And because of their smile and that love, I completely forgot you. And they put me in the schools. I became a child. I studied very deeply and I earned degrees. And then I started earning money. Oh my Lord, I completely forgot you. Now I have become very old, my Lord. And because of this material contamination, material association, I completely forgot you. Now I have become old. How can I do bhakti at this age? So Bhaktivinoda Thakurji is representing our life in this bhajan. So as a child, we all have prayed the Lord, my Lord, please take me out of this precarious condition. When I come out, I will surrender to you. But as soon as we come out, we completely forget Kṛṣṇa. And because of that forgetfulness, we are all put into this material miseries. So the best process is to surrender to Kṛṣṇa. So yathā ulbena garbhas. So this is the third level of deep covering of this lust, kama, the consciousness of Jivatma. So this is we find in trees. Trees are also having a life. There is also Atma. But their consciousness is very, very deeply covered. In the form of tree, they have to remain open naked for hundreds and hundreds of years. There are some trees, they are thousands of years old. Just they are, being open in the air and hot sun and the rain. They are exposed. Their consciousness is so much covered inside. In Srimad Bhagavatam, Nala Kubera and Manigriva, the two sons of Kubera. Kubera is the treasurer of Sarga, very rich person. And because of the curse from the Narad Muni, they became tree. But when they were cursed by Narad Muni, they started rolling on his lotus feet. My Lord, please save us. How can we relieve from this curse? Narad Muni also blessed them that although you will be tree, you will become tree in the Nand Baba's Angan. And you will have the audience of Kṛṣṇa. In Dwapar Yuga, when Kṛṣṇa comes and touches you, you will be relieved from this tree form. So as we know, dhūmenāvriyate we are going to sing now in October, November. In Kartik Mass, we sing for the entire month the same glories of Damodar. So how Kṛṣṇa rescued the Nal Kuvera and Manigriva in the form of tree. So this is the third level of coverage, deep covering. Embryo, just like embryo covers the embryo covering is a very, very deep. And because of the Narad Muni's blessings also, they could remember Kṛṣṇa, and when Kṛṣṇa touched them, they came in their form and they offered a very beautiful prayer in Srimad Bhagavatam. They said, henceforth, hey my Lord, all our vani gunanukatana. So our vani, our tongue only chant your glories. and our ears only hear your katha. And henceforth, please bless us that we will not commit such mistake. And they go to the Swarga and again chanting the glories of the Lord. So this is the third level. Now there are 8.4 million ways to forget Kṛṣṇa. So in Padma Purana it is explained, Jalaja Navalakshani. There are 9 lakh different bodies which stay in the water. Jalaja Navalakshani. Stavara Laksha Vimsati. Vimsati matlab 20. So 20 lakh. 20 lakh are immobile plants and trees. So plants and trees, the third level of lust coverage are 20 lakhs. And Krimayo Rudra Sankhya Khyam. Krimayo matlab krimi. Who the bodies who walk by their stomach. Those are called as krimi. They move by their stomach. Like a snake and the worms, krimi. They move by their stomach, touching the stomach. So krimi or reptiles, fish. These are how many? Rudra Sankhya. Rudra matlab 11. 11 Rudra hai isliye. 11 lakh are krimi. Pakshinam Dashalakshana. 10 lakhs different pakshis are there. Level 2 coverage. Trinshal Lakshani Pashavaha. So there are 30 lakh beasts. Carnivorous animals. Beasts are 30 lakhs. Then Chatur Lakshani Manavaha. There are 4 lakhs of different human beings. Manava. मनुष्यों में 4 लाख प्रकार है. So these 4 lakhs are not only in this earth. They may be in Swarga, Patal Lok, Bhuvar Lok. So there are 4 lakh different types of species of human life. So all put together 8.4 million, 84 lakh, 84 lakhs. And these all 84 lakh species are getting different kind of body. These are all covered by the lust, material lust. Okay. And then in this section it is explained how this lust, the enemy called lust, kama, is born of passion. Rajogun se utpann hota hai. It is born of passion and changes into wrath. When the lust is not fulfilled, it transforms into anger, wrath. And that forces us to act sinfully. When a person is in anger, अगर गुस्से में होता है ना, कोई भी डिसीजन लेता है वो गलत होता है गुस्से में. क्योंकि because he is completely controlled by this lust, controlled by this anger, सम्मोहित हो जाता है. So that forces to act sinfully. And this kama, lust, burns like fire. And it occupies in 3 different places. One is mind, second is in senses, third is in intelligence. So mind is the center of sense activities, reservoir of all ideas of sense gratification. Then intelligence covers and causes identification with false ego, mind and senses. So that's why Lord Kṛṣṇa has said this kama, lust, is mahashatru, vairina. So beware of this shatru. Now, in Srimad Bhagavatam, there's a very interesting story of King Pururava. Have you heard about this King Pururava? Yeah. In 11th canto, Pururava was enchanted by Urvasi. One day, Urvasi from Swarga came, and Pururava was a king from Somavansha, Chandravansha. Very powerful king, very beautiful He was having a very beautiful body, was very beautiful, smart. So Urvasi came to have an association with this Pururava. And Pururava got attracted to the beauty of that Urvasi, and he engaged in the sexual act with Urvasi for many, many years. It is explained in Srimad Bhagavatam that when Pururava was with Urvasi, for many, many years he could not see the sun. He was so much attached to her. And Urvasi, when she married Pururava, she was having two conditions. Three conditions. Daily you should feed me with ghee. All preparation should be ghee. Number two, I should not see you in naked condition when there is a light. And third, Urvasi had bought 2 lamps. Lamps. And you should not take away this lamp from me. So if these conditions you are not meeting, I will leave you and go. So for many, many years, Pururava was engaged in sex with this Urvasi. But when Urvasi, they saw in Swargas, where she is there, so Swarga Lok people came and searching here, they saw Urvasi with Pururava, and one day they disguised like a, Indra sent them to bring Urvasi back. And these people from Swarga, they took the torch and they came in their house, so they light the torch. First they took these 2 lamps, 2 cups of the lamp, they picked them, and because of that Urvashi started shouting, "Oh my lamb, so please protect them." So Pururava king was in naked condition on the bed with Urvasi, and he started running to save those lamps, and those Swargavasi, they lit the torch on them. And in the light, in that naked condition, Pururava was running after those lamps. Because if the lamp goes, Urvasi will leave me. And if she leaves, how I will have enjoyment? So that's why he was running after. And because Urvasi saw Pururava was in naked condition and there was a light thrown on him, and her lamp also was stolen, Urvasi left and went back to Swarga. And after that, Pururava became like a madman. He was so much attached to her. He went to Swarga again. He performed yajna to get the association of Urvasi. Again for 1 year he went to Swarga, and with her association he was there. And after that Urvasi rejected him. And when finally Pururava, when he got frustrated with this, he came to his senses. Alas, what a stupid person I am. I am supposed to be king of this whole planet. But look at me. Just for this lady, I have given up everything, all shame. I am just like a worm in the stool. There is no difference between me and worm in the stool. This is what Pururava is singing. This is called as Gita in 11th canto in Srimad Bhagavatam. Pururava, Lord Kṛṣṇa is singing this. Pururava's Gita. This is called as Gita. He was his mother name was Ila. So that's why Pururava's another name was Aila. So there are some. So Pururava sings, "Aho me moha vistarah kama kashmala chetasa devyagrahita kanthasya nayokhanda ime spritaha." No, he is singing this, how third class person I was. Just because of that lust, I followed that stree and she was catching my kantha. And I just became like an animal in her hand. So Pururava says, although I was powerful lord with great opulence, that woman gave me up as if I were no more than an insignificant blade of grass. And still naked and without shame, I followed her, crying out her like a madman. Now, Pururava, when he got his senses, he is explaining his condition. Where are my so-called great influence, power and sovereignty? Just like an ass being kicked in the face by sea ass, I ran after that woman who had already given me up. Just like a sea donkey kicks he donkey. I was kicked by that Urvasi, but I lost all my shame. I lost all my sovereignty, power, great influence. This is just because of this lust kama. What is the use of a big education or the practice of austerities and renunciation? And what is the use of studying religious scriptures, of living in solitude and silence, if after that one's mind is stolen by a woman? If one's mind is stolen by a woman because of this lust, one follows her, what is the use of all that education? So he is singing this. Even after I had served the so-called nectar of the lips of Urvasi for many years, my lusty desires kept rising again and again within my heart and were never satisfied, just like a fire that can never be extinguished by the oblation of ghee poured into the flame. So Pururava is teaching us, look at me, I was a great king. Just because of this kama, I was became mad and I lost everything. मेरा पूरा पतन हो गया था इसके. So he is singing, and that's why he is also saying, beware. I allowed my intelligence to become dull, and because I failed to control my senses, the great confusion in my mind did not go away. Even though Urvasi herself gave me wise counsel with well-spoken word. Urvasi many times told her, Pururava, this is not good. Why you are, after me? I'm a woman. And you should be a king. You should have some senses. You should control your senses. Urvasi told him many times. But still, Pururava was so lost to her that he could not, those counseling words could not heed him. So much he was attached and influenced by this lust. So that's why Lord Kṛṣṇa is saying, this is kama, is a vairi noun. Beware of this vairi, kama. Therefore, one should never let his senses associate freely with women or with men attached to women. Even those who are highly learned cannot trust the 6 enemies of the mind. What to speak then of foolish person like me? So Pururava is saying. So just to conclude, in this shloka, the lust is born out of the passion, and when this lust is not fulfilled, it changes into wrath, and that forces us to act sinfully, and it burns like a fire. This was the question this is the answer to Arjuna's question. What is that force which forces us to act sinfully, although unwillingly? And as an answer to that, Kṛṣṇa is explaining in this 38, look, this is the lust. One should be beware of this. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. Already time is over. किसी का कुछ प्रश्न है, कमेंट है?
This lust, when it is not satisfied, it turns into anger. But when it is satisfied also, when it satisfies the mind, senses and intelligence, still it results in anger. Because the satisfaction is never to the expectation of the soul. It can't satisfy the soul. So like Pururava, he was satisfied many times by Urvashi, but still he was angry. Because
he could not control his senses. Pururava could not control. He was so much deeply attached to her. So he completely lost all his senses. Now, actually, kama, Lord Kṛṣṇa says in Bhagavad Gita, if it is according to dharma, Kama should be used only to beget children. Kama is only to use for begetting children. But if it goes beyond control, it will take us to hell. It opens the door for hell. So that is why when in this grahastha life, when we become Kṛṣṇa consciousness, automatically all our senses will be controlled. And that is the purpose of, that's why this bhavandar, when there is a bhavandar, there's a hurricane, we should get hold of some strong pole. And that strong pole is lotus feet of Kṛṣṇa. If we catch hold of Kṛṣṇa, if we become devotee, then easily we can escape from the effect of this bhavandar. Otherwise we will be lost into this. Yes, sir.
हिंदी में पूछ सकते हैं?
हाँ बोलिए.
पूरा समझ में आया. जैसे आपने लव का एक्सप्लेनेशन दिया, लव मात्र,
हाँ,
कि ये स्वर्ग से भी अपवर्ग से भी साधु संग और ये कथा का प्रभाव है कि अगर कथा सुनता है या साधुओं का संग करता है तो वो स्वर्ग अपवर्ग से भी बड़ा है. लेकिन हम लोग कठिनाई में होते हैं तो ये बातें सुनते हैं, कथा भी सुनते हैं, सत्संग भी करते हैं, साधु संग भी करते हैं. जो ही भगवान थोड़ा कठिनाई दूर करते हैं, फिर हम थोड़ा लेफ्ट करते हैं कथाओं को, थोड़ा माया में फंसते हैं. पहला क्वेश्चन तो ये. दूसरा, आपने गजेंद्र के बारे में बताया. सरेंडर हम लोग तो बोलते हैं, बोलने का प्रयास करते हैं, कठिनाई में होते हैं, लेकिन पुनः फिर अपने परिवार की तरफ झांकने लगते हैं कि वो हमारा मदद करेगा. तीसरा प्रभु जी, ये अभी जो कामा के बारे में बताए हैं, तो जो थोड़ा समझ में नहीं आया कि भगवान के सामने पूर्वा क्या प्रार्थना करते हैं, कैसे काम दूर होगा हमारा, ये प्रश्न है.
ओके, बहुत अच्छा प्रश्न है जी. देखिए, एक तो पहला तीसरा प्रश्न जो है पुरुरवा जब उसको पता चला कि देन वो सब छोड़ दिया, ही एक्चुअली लेफ्ट एवरीथिंग, और भगवान की खोज में निकले, तब उसके मन में शांति मिलने लगा. भागवतम में एक्सप्लेन किया है, इट इज एक्सप्लेन दैट व्हेन ही केम आउट ऑफ दैट सेंसेस एंड ही स्टार्टेड चैंटिंग एंड वॉन्डरिंग इन सर्च ऑफ लॉर्ड कृष्णा, इनसाइड ही स्टार्टेड फीलिंग वेरी हैप्पी. So similarly in our life, we all are in Maya, and Maya is very, very strong. But if we always chant the glories of Krishna, take his name, and if we are in devotion, we are not much affected. But if it is not there, immediately we will be affected. So that's why we see so many people who are not in devotion, lot of trouble. Trouble is there for everyone, but if we are in devotion, if we are in the protection of Krishna, we can easily cross this. That's why in Srimad Bhagavatam, padam padam yad vipadam natesham, when we take the shelter of Krishna's lotus feet as a boat, we can easily cross this ocean of material misery. Just like a person crosses the water contained in the cow's hoof print, तो इतना बड़ा जो सागर है इतना छोटा बन जाता है भगवान के चरणों में शरणागति लेने से. बड़ा सागर इतना छोटा बन जाता है. तो अल्टीमेटली यही है, द समरी इज वी शुड सरेंडर टू कृष्णा एंड ऑलवेज लिसन टू द ग्लोरीज. कथा सुनना चाहिए और भगवान का भक्ति करना चाहिए. वही हमको इस भौतिक जगत से बचा सकते हैं, अंदर आनंद भी दे सकता है.
लव में जो होता है कि लव सत्संग करते हैं,
हाँ,
साधु संग करते हैं, लेकिन डिफिकल्टियां दूर होती है तो पुनः हम माया में चले जाते हैं.
लेकिन उसका लव मात्र साधु संग, उसका इफेक्ट तो साधु के बीच में, भक्तों के बीच में जब रहते हैं तब उसका बहुत अच्छे प्रभाव हमारे ऊपर होता रहता है ना जी. अगर हम अकेले होंगे और भक्तों के बीच में है, इसका बहुत बड़ा, और जब भी हमको भक्तों का संग होता है ना, वो जो लाभ मिलता है ना, बहुत बड़ा लाभ है. कभी कभी हम उसको तुलना नहीं कर सकते, बट वो जो लाभ है बहुत बड़ा लाभ है.
गजेंद्र के प्रसंग में वो शुरू में ही क्यों सरेंडर नहीं, क्यों अपने परिवार वालों के प्रति आकर्षण हुआ कि परिवार वाले हमको बचा लेंगे. इसी तरह हम लोग भी सोचते हैं कि भगवान की भक्ति कर रहे हैं, लेकिन सेफ्टी ढूंढते हैं कि हमारे माता पिता है, परिवार है, जबकि उधर से मदद नहीं मिलती है. हर हालत में तो भगवान का सरेंडर पर ही हमारा मदद मिलता है. तो शुरू में ही क्यों नहीं हम हाथ उठा देते कि हे भगवान हमारी रक्षा कीजिए?
भाई वो लस्ट जो है उसका कवरिंग इतना डीप होता है प्रभु जी, वो पूरा हम भूल गए रहते हैं। और धीरे धीरे जब उसको वो समय आएगा, जैसा कि पूर्व को कितना साल लगा, लस्ट बाहर आ गया तब उनको समझ गया।
थैंक यू, बहुत अच्छा लगा प्रभु जी।
हरे कृष्णा, थैंक यू, हरे कृष्णा। हाँ पूजा
प्रभु जी, एक बार शायद प्रभुपाद ने भी ऐसा बोला कि कोई उनके डिसाइपल ने बोला, प्रभुपाद ने बोला इफ यू डोंट हैव सेक्स डिजायर देन देयर इज समथिंग रॉन्ग विद यू। और साइंस बोलता है कि हार्मोन्स आर वर्किंग। तो बोलने का मतलब प्रभुपाद ने भी जब वेस्ट में प्रीच किया तो इस सर्च को नेचुरल बताया। सब नेचुरल है, जैसे फूड, जैसा ये तो लव हम सोच सकते हैं लव नेचुरल है, लेकिन सेक्स हमको ड्रेन करता है, ब्लड सीमन ये सब कंसेप्ट्स आता है। लेकिन फिर भी जीवा तो प्रोन है, द जीवा इज प्रोन टू फॉल डाउन टू एनी टाइम।
तो आपका प्रश्न क्या है कि
अभी एक तरफ ये नॉर्मल अर्ज
नहीं, नॉर्मल अर्ज तो है, खाना भी नॉर्मल अर्ज है, लेकिन भगवान के प्रसाद खाया उसमें संतुष्ट है तो ठीक रहेगा, लेकिन इधर उधर खाने लगे तो पेट बिगड़ जाएगा, है ना। एनीथिंग एक्सेस विल स्पॉइल यू। सिमिलरली काम जो ऐसा है कि इस काम को केवल संतान उत्पत्ति करने के लिए ब्रह्मा जी ने इसको निर्माण किया है, और धर्मों विरुद्ध भूतेषु कामोस्मि, हम भगवान बोलते धर्म के विरुद्ध नहीं होना चाहिए। शादी किया है, काम जीवन तृप्त होने तक संसार में रहना, इसको कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है, लेकिन शादी भी करे और दूसरे की तरफ भी देके ये भी देके धर्म विरुद्ध करना, वो पतन का कारण बन जाता है। और एक्सेसिव काम इज ऑल्सो पतन के लिए कारण बन जाता है। तो उसको हम चाकू जैसे उसको यूज़ करना चाहिए। चाकू को कैसा है, इसको अच्छे काम के लिए काटने के लिए यूज़ करते, किसी को मारने के लिए भी यूज़ करते, तो ऐसा है, उसको ऐसा यूज़ करना चाहिए। ठीक है भैया, हरे कृष्णा। श्रीमद् भगवद गीता की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की, सब भक्तों की जय। हरे कृष्ण।